Hello, Ronnie Figueroa here. What I want to present today is aspects of sexual issues that couples may have. I believe, right off the bat, I'm just going to say what I believe it's all about a holistic kind of way of living. The practical aspects of communication, the different therapies, the different techniques that are out there are important and they're needed, but they are second, I won't even say secondary, they're insignificant in comparison to the most important thing that we need to do in any relationship. Couples who are having, and I'll get to that more specifically, couples who are having problems with their sexuality, being intimate together, it basically boils down to two things. And one is the absence of intimacy. The other basically could be a physical kind of issue. Some women, when they reach menopause or afterwards, or even as women get older, especially, it becomes more difficult. Men can sometimes be too forceful in wanting to have sex a lot. And it can go either way. Men can have a erectile dysfunction where they cannot have an erection. But either way, it's very important, yes, to communicate what's going on. And in that communication, and right now I'm staying on the secondary aspect of, and even what I consider to be insignificant in comparison to the most important part. But I'm going to cover this part first. So within communication, couples need to set aside a time. And then couples will say to me sometimes, I don't have any time. We're working, we're running around, we're doing this. And it really doesn't matter. You must have some time, even if it's a short period of time, to have contact with one another. Westernized societies, a lot of times, unless you're working an overnight shift, you have your bedtime together. If you have a baby, the baby could be crying all night. But even if you have a few minutes, it's important to truly cherish any time you can have and learn to cherish any times. And a lot of times what happens though is that so many stressors built up that even neither person may want to have any interaction with one another. The angers, the frustrations, the fears. And then it becomes sometimes, oh, forget it. Sometimes there's pressure and the person doesn't want that pressure. Sometimes it's like, wow, I'm not getting my needs met. And all of these different kinds of things can happen within intimate relationships. And of course, that's going to cause a lack of sexual connection. And is sexual connection important? Very much so. Research is showing more and more that the sexual orgasm, the sexual interaction with people can actually lengthen life. There is almost like a high that occurs because of the oxytocin that's created, because it's almost like a DMT kind of experience. The pineal gland, of course, produces its own DMT, and that sexual interaction can enhance that, which is important to know. But if you're not feeling good about yourself or the person you're with, or for whatever reasons, it's going to diminish the desire to be intimate, the desire to even look at the person maybe. And sometimes these things can go where you're not really aware of it, where it can almost be unconscious. That's why it's really important to do the more important thing, the most important thing. And that is to learn how to become more aware of what's going on in your life, things around you, whatever. And that's a practice. And this is more of the what people would call energetic side of things. Some might call it self-actualization. Some might call it spirituality. You can call it whatever you want. The point is that there is an energetic nature to all of us, and we need to tap into that first and foremost. Without that, it's going to be very difficult. And I believe very, very strongly the numbers of divorces, which is very high. I mean, I think they say, oh, it's gone down in the 40s or whatever percentage of those recorded. But imagine how many are staying together because of children, because of finances, because they just can't think about leaving. That makes it even a little bit more dynamic, stressful, a thing to look at that truly needs healing. So, what are we going to do about it? If you are having problems like that with your intimacy, with your sexuality, the key thing to do again is to look inside yourself, is to learn to be more aware of what's going on inside of you in an honest and genuine way. And the three parts that I always put together, the idea of practicing living a life of awareness, presence, with that positive intention or desire. And you can use any of your words because they are just words. And these kinds of practices basically bring you to that place that we need to be in. And the more you practice this, the more naturally you come to this place and you stay in this place. I call it living a life of being in spacious awareness, or you can even practice that. And how do you do that? You bring yourself back to what you know to be you as best you can, or what you're perceiving to be you, with all that you are. That's a key thing too. You're good, you're bad, and you're ugly. And some people don't like those kinds of words, so use whatever words you want. But it's being that honest and genuine and real with yourself, but having more of an emphasis looking towards the real person that you are, the power that you are, the soul, the energy, the spirit that you are, the God that you are, whatever makes you or helps you get here. Because the longer you stay here, the more you're healed and the more you'll continue to heal. But we all fall away too much. And there's no one who knows how to stay here consistently. That idea of enlightened human beings who are always in this state of oneness, I don't buy it. I think it's a bunch of BS. Now you can, and that's fine. I respect what you might believe. I hope you can respect me. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think people put themselves up on a pedestal and it has other people drawn to them. Why? Because too many of us need something else outside of ourselves. And these gurus are just like that. They're like an idol. They could just be a statue, a pyramid, a church, a synagogue. Something you have to have. No, you don't have to have any of it. All you have to have is you. And there's different ways, and I mean later on, or if anyone wants to find out more specifics of how you can keep practicing here, because there are some tools, again, those secondary or insignificant things that we need to help keep us here. And then when I say insignificant, I don't want to say just insignificant. I should never say it's insignificant. As I said before, insignificant in comparison to being here, to practicing this. This will make everything else so much easier. Healing so much easier. Intimate relationships so much easier. Now, okay, so or should you wait till you feel great and you're in this state of, no, you have to go for it, go for intimacy, go for developing a sexual relationship wherever you are right now. Holding on to this one more important thing than anything else as best you can. It's a practice and it could take time, but it'll make everything work out so much easier and smoother. But the actual applications, yes, the practice, here we go again. Be with your partner. If you're in bed, don't put pressure, either one, I want sex, or give the idea, or put out too much energy. You may feel that way, and that the other person needs to respect that. If you're one who feels they want more and they need it and they're not getting it, and it's frustrating, it's okay to verbalize, and it's important to verbalize what you're feeling. But you have to learn how to keep it there. And then the other needs to be able to validate what you're feeling, even maybe repeat what you're feeling. And these kinds of tools are good, not only to help break the ice or help you heal more together, They give you time to stop and think for a minute, because usually we don't. Usually it's like, I didn't say that. I didn't do that. Why don't you want to do this? What is it? Is it me? Did I do something wrong? No, I didn't. Why are you getting angry? I'm not getting angry. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. you know? And again, the key thing is to be with each other. One thing that can help change everything as far as a technique is look at your partner in the eyes without saying a word and allow whatever emotions are there to come out. If you can drop your guard and be vulnerable and be open, that can help accelerate the process. But looking into their hearts, looking into their souls, into their eyes. And then if that's all you want to do, you might want to touch. And then if it becomes like, well, I don't want to go any farther, the one who doesn't want to go any farther, that needs to be expected. There shouldn't be a push, a force. And if the person feels, well, this is not working right, we need to be more intimate or something, then the other who's maybe has more difficult time needs to respect what that person is saying. I understand what you're saying. Now, one of the things in all these kind of communications that helps the most is always realizing that you're bringing it back to yourself to heal yourself. Why? Because that magic word again, as you're looking at this and validating the other person and really discussing primarily what you are feeling or thinking, not pointing the finger at the other, but what you are thinking or feeling. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling, I feel neglected. That's how I feel. I'm not saying that you're doing that necessarily, but I'm just telling you how I feel. And then the other person needs to try to respect that. A lot of times what happens, though, is the angers, the frustration, the guilt, which is really an underlying, more universal kind of feeling that many of us have. Guilt based on fear, which basically is saying, there's something wrong with me. And then it's like, no, it's you. But deeper inside, it's more like the frustration and anger below that. This kind of thing comes from that kind of thing, guilt. Feeling insecure, feeling that you're not good enough. Maybe you did something wrong. And then you get angry, and then you get frustrated with the other. And then it builds up to sometimes you just become numb. And some people just live that kind of lifestyle, being comfortably numb. So that's one key thing, the eye contact. And then within that, again, like I say, maybe just touch your hands. And you can even establish a plan. I don't want to say get like too rigid where you are, okay, we're going to schedule you in for this time. We're only going to spend 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, communicate how you're feeling. And even if you're doing this for 5 minutes, do it for 5 minutes a day and then build up on top of it. Again, the eye contact, or maybe reaching out. The person pulls away, or what would be better even is to communicate, I'd rather not right now. I'm feeling that I don't want to right now. And then the other person needs to respect it. What needs to occur, though, is also, and this is what I believe very, very strongly will occur, there'll be more of that eye contact, it'll be deeper, and even just in that alone, it starts to break the ice. And then you may even ask, can we hold hands? And then you just hold hands. Can we hug? And then you just do that with no expectations, especially if the person is very, very not wanting to have any deep, deep, intimate sexual relationship. And here's another thing too, people, like if your partner's having a difficult time, it's important to try to understand that it could be some deep emotional thing, or it is either a deep emotional thing or it's a physical thing. Either which way, you need to be aware of what you're going through, and to have a degree of awareness what your partner is going through. You may not have complete awareness of much, but as you hold on to that concept, it'll grow and grow. And then what will happen, I believe very, very strongly, is with these especially with the idea of, okay, I'm bringing it all back to me. See? You're doing it in the secondary level as well as living this within your being. It's me. I'm here with it. Am I good, my bad, am I ugly? Now what do you do with that? The practice, again, can be just releasing it. And even if you can just get to be all with it, there's something about the healing aspect of just being with it. You find that things aren't as difficult to deal with in all aspects of your life. But again, we're talking specifically now about the intimate sexual interactions with people. Now, there's different kinds of things around, like the Tantra kind of philosophy, which I don't agree with anything totally. I do think there's some good things in the concept and the principles, but again, like most, if not all other religions, philosophies, belief systems, there's error to it. There's theories, but there's errors to it. And mostly within religions or spiritual kinds of ideas, concept, techniques, because most of them originally were written by men. And men have a tendency to screw up, I think, a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not just us guys. Women do too. But we originally started that. We're the ones who had to have control. We're the ones who made women do this and do that. We're the ones who wrote all these things in the Bible. Thou shalt not. If you do this, I will beat you. Or worse, I will kill you. No, that's not what the universe is all about. And when you live this life, you realize it. And then it becomes easier to communicate. And a lot of times now, folks, this is another key thing, because I'm going to end soon. It's important to take that risk in any space that you believe is appropriate. You may be afraid, you may even be frustrated, but if you try a bit at a time in the communication part, I feel. Now we're saying a couple of things, and it's just, please just keep this in mind, the eye contact. Can we? Questions. I feel this. What do you think? You're not pointing the finger. As much as you don't do that, that's going to be one of the more practical ways of healing a relationship. And it can all boil down to being that simple. Is it individual for how you want to do this? Yes. But these simple concepts are what's more important. As a matter of fact, I think all the books, the philosophies out there, the seminars, all these different things that we go to and rely on, most of them are unnecessary. And even with techniques, to me, the key part of it isn't the techniques, it's the intention behind the technique. Sometimes we need a little idol to go through chakras, or to have a crystal or a sage, or grounding, or various kinds of movements that we need to do. Of course, they can help. But if you rely on them for being the answer, that's a problem. We can use these things, but it's so important to remember that the primary thing is your intention, what you develop as your belief. And as you practice these things, here's what happens. You start to see results very quickly. You start to get what I call acts of synchronicity / miracles. And the more you live this life, the more they're there. Will there continue to be struggles? Will there still be questionings? There'll be even maybe more, but you'll be at such a powerful, strong, balanced state that these things will not bother you like they used to. Anything that occurs in your life, it actually gives you an opportunity to heal that much more so, to stand in your power in the midst of whatever is going on, to continue to reach out to your partner. And I don't know if I said this part, but hey, even on that practical level, even on that more logical thinking kind of area, you can pleasure yourself. You can do that with your partner watching, or if there's too much uncomfortability, you can go somewhere else. But the more you can become more communicative with your partner, and they can accept that maybe you need to do self-stimulation, self-masturbation, then again, your communication is growing, your connection is growing, your trust is growing. Take little steps, a little bit bigger. What works for you? You may already know some of this, you may know a lot of it. But we need to practice, yes. More so, our being needs to be alive, and because we have too much, and I do it usually with my hands as a demonstration. We need to become balanced human beings, and we have too much humanness and not enough beingness. And by practicing these simple techniques, what happens is you become more balanced. Will it ever be perfect? As I say often, I don't think so. It'll always be a test until we evolve to something else. And I believe that's what the universe is looking for us to evolve into something else. So that's all I'm going to say right now. I'm hoping more and more that these YouTube videos, which are very unprofessionally made, will touch souls and help people heal. If you want to contact me, my name is Ronnie Figueroa. You can reach me at my website, which is ronholisticcounselor.com. So let's get in touch. And oh yeah, what was I going to say also? I don't know if I want to give my phone number right now, because I think that might not be the wisest thing to do. But on my website, you will find my phone number. So check it out if you wish, if this is really doing something for you. Get back, heal, and love, peace to you all. And my mantra is, and this is for everybody, health, wealth, peace, love, and freedom for us all. Bye for now.